Hi, I'm Tom Philp, and we're here once again with Jeff Kightlinger, General Manager. And today we're going to talk about California WaterFix, the state and federal effort to identify a lasting solution in the Sacramento-San Joaquin Delta. And as you know, California WaterFix has proposed 3 new intakes in the North Sacramento-San Joaquin Delta and a twin tunnel pipeline system to transport some of the water supplies to the existing aqueduct system in the Southern Delta. So Jeff, walk us through the process that you have for our board to go over all the details of WaterFix before we get to the investment decision.
So a decision on Cal WaterFix has been in the making for almost 8 years now. As we've been going through the process, our board's had a special Bay Delta committee that's looked at pretty much every aspect of the project, every aspect of the problem. But right now we're trying to tie it all together and synthesize 8 years of information into about 3 months of decision-making time and to pull it all together. So we started our first workshop July 10th, just a couple weeks ago, and that focused exclusively on the physical nature of the project, the engineering, and the cost of it, really focusing on the tunnels themselves, the pumps, the forebays, all that mechanical side of it. Our next workshop is going to be about the operations of it, the environmental issues, the projected flows, what we would expect the project to deliver in terms of yield, in terms of water. And then our third workshop is going to really look at the costs, the allocation, who's participating, who's not, how we're going to share the costs, and finally what that would mean for ratepayers and what it means for Metropolitan. So we're going to do 3 specific targeted workshops essentially at our board, and then we're going to tie it all together with one workshop tentatively scheduled right now, and that's kind of the time frame on that.
So Jeff, recently the federal agencies issued what are known as biological opinions for California WaterFix. Describe what biological opinions are and the significance of the agencies issuing them.
So the biological opinions were the final prerequisite to wrapping up the environmental review process, the NEPA and CEQA process, the environmental reviews. So the biological opinions are basically how the fish agencies, the National Marine Fisheries Service, the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, and to some extent California Fish and Wildlife, they would be issuing their separate opinion on that. All those fish agencies are going to say, here's how we expect the project to operate once it's built. Based on those projections and those opinions, we can then determine and model what we think we'll get out of the project, how much water would be delivered in specific year types. So a pretty crucial step for us in understanding, is this project really going to help the situation? What sort of water can we expect to get out of the project?
And as for the board, what are the specific actions that the board needs to take for WaterFix to move forward for Metropolitan?
So it's a big decision, obviously. When you think about this project, it's the biggest reinvestment in the state water project since it was built in 1960. So we're looking at an investment decision. Are we willing to pay for our share of it? Metropolitan's share of the project is somewhere between 25 and 30% of the overall project cost. When you're looking at $15 billion, that's in the range of not quite $4 billion investment that Metropolitan would invest over a lengthy period of time, roughly probably a 30 to 50 year period of time and investment. So that's a big decision for our board. We're also looking at how we're going to build this. We're probably going to be constructing this with a joint powers authority, which would be a consortium of the major state and federal contractors that'll be building it. And Metropolitan would have a seat on that board. So a decision on, do we want to be part of the JPA that would be building this? Do we want to invest in the overall project? How we're going to be financing, it'll be some of those decisions. So all these things will be teed up squarely before the board. We're hopeful in that mid-September timeframe.
Sounds like a very busy and historic summer ahead for us.
It's going to be pretty hectic, but it's also nice to have to be at a decision point after studying this for 8 years.
Yes, very much so. Thanks, Jeff.
Thank you.